Hello to Taylor Hughes. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you that we chat to you today. So, can you tell me, how long have you been a singer songwriter for?
I've been doing this, I guess, quote unquote, professionally for about 11 or 12 years. I've been down in the Nashville area for seven, kind of just hitting it real hard here in Nashville. Been doing this for a while.
So, what was it like going into the recording studio to record your very first debut single called "Good Taste"?
Yeah, that was a really fun experience. It's been so long. But I was actually in the studio when we recorded that. We did it here in Nashville with Jason Wyatt, and we actually ended up doing three different songs. So, like my first three singles, we did all at once and then just kind of released them slowly. But it was a really cool experience because it was my first time recording in a Nashville studio. So, you're using all these incredible musicians that have played for some huge stars and have been on some hit records. So you go in a little nervous, but then you start to get comfortable, and then the nerves shake out, and you just sing and do your thing. And we had a really good time, and it had a great response. My debut single hit iHeartRadio and aired or premiered on iHeart, which is pretty cool for an independent artist.
So, can you tell me more about "Good Taste"?
So it's just a fun, lighthearted song, kind of giving, or a tip to the hat, I guess you could say, to some of the outlaw men in country music like Johnny Cash and Waylon and Earl. And it's just a fun, honky tonk kind of song that talks about essentially having good taste in music, but bad taste in men. And sometimes the two just kind of go together.
So, have you got a favourite alcoholic beverage?
A favorite? Oh yes, I'm an old fashioned girl. Yeah.
So, do you like drinking whiskey?
I do. I'm a bourbon whiskey girl. I'm from Kentucky originally, so bourbon kind of runs through our blood.
So, can you tell me more about praying to the whiskey?
That was my sophomore single. I actually wrote that song with my dad, and it was a fun one to write. We were kind of inspired by just like sharing stories from like our college days and like tailgating, which is a big thing for my family here. We're big college football fans, and just taking past experiences and kind of tying it in with the fact that I am Catholic. So almost just like a little bit of religion and a little bit of like, the partier in us. And it's almost kind of the idea of having like the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. And sometimes you kind of wobble between the line of, I don't want to say good and bad, but doing something maybe you shouldn't be doing. But at the end of the day, you want to have your sins forgiven, and that's kind of what the song's about.
So, what was it like writing that song with your dad?
Oh, it's such a great experience. Music is a family business for us, and my mom was a singer way back in the day, and my dad's a great songwriter. So it's really special to be able to share that musical passion with family.
Will you write any more music with your dad in the future?
We've written quite a few things. So we might end up releasing another one that we've co-wrote together, but who knows?
So, can you tell me more about your single that is called High on Something?
That was my third single, and it's a little different from other songs that I've released and written. It is a love song. So when we went into the writing room, we definitely wanted to make sure it didn't come off as cheesy. Still had that the Taylor Hughes stamp on it, and we used some inspiration from Chris Stapleton, who is a big, inspiration for my music, and wanted to write a song that wasn't necessarily about like a new fresh love or a young love. It's about a relationship that's been going on for a while and that grows and grows and gets better with time. And sometimes we can't quite put our finger on it, but there's just something about that person that just gets us high on something.
So, where did you get your inspiration for songwriting?
I get inspired to write songs with a lot of different things, especially just like personal experiences, maybe a TV show I've watched, or just hearing other people's stories. And I've got a lot of, influence from like Miranda Lambert and Chris Stapleton, Ashley McBride. I love that storytelling aspect of country music, and also that authenticity that those artists tend to put into their music.
So you're a Christian, so I guess God must be take quite big part of your life.
Yeah, faith is something that's very important to me. And I do believe that, my gift of music is from God, and I don't take it for granted at all. And I'm very, very thankful for, the opportunity to chase my dreams every day and do what I love. And sometimes we sprinkle that in with the music as well.
So can you tell me more about Jesus and Jail?
Yeah, that is my current single until tomorrow when my new one comes out. That was a really fun one to write. I wrote it with a girlfriend of mine, Miss Crystal King. She's a great friend of mine, great songwriter. I had this idea, kind of inspired by Johnny Cash. Some of you might have heard this saying, I live like Johnny Cash, somewhere between Jesus and jail. And I saw that line. I was like, that's a song. There's something in there. So I came into the writing room with, I think, a verse written, and I was like, I really think this could be an outlaw anthem for women of country, because we obviously have all the great outlaw men of country, but there are some really cool women out there that have a little outlaw in them, and that's kind of what we wanted to bring to the table with this song. It's high energy, it's kind of in your face, and it's been a fan favorite.
So can you tell me more about your latest single released tomorrow called Old Fashioned You?
Yeah, another kind of high energy, fun one, but this one will definitely have the fans dancing. This was another song that I wrote with Crystal King that I came into the writing room that day and had a fun little idea to write a song comparing the different types of men we've dated to different types of cocktails, because everyone kind of has their signature drink depending on their personality. And basically, the song is just, looking at relationships through a lighthearted lens, and thinking about, past relationships and how maybe we overcomplicate love sometimes. And that at the end of the day, the best kind of love is a simple and classic one, just like an old fashioned.
So are you going to work on any new music in the near future?
Oh, absolutely. We did a ton of songwriting last year. We're still writing a lot this year, and we do have some music and some projects that are in the works right now, but I can't give too much away because we want to keep the fans guessing. But yeah, we do have more music on the way.
So that is interview's going out in weeks' time. So have you got any gigs coming up in the near future?
Any gigs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am actually headed to Florida here in a few days to go play a couple of shows. I've got some just like individual Taylor Hughes shows, and I'm also playing a mini songwriters festival in Daytona with Southern Fellow. It's called Chords on the Coast. So we're really excited to go down there, have some fun in the sun, see all my Florida fans, and then I'll be back in Nashville for a couple of shows. And the rest of the year we'll be in Kentucky, and I think we're going to Texas. That's the plan, is to go back to Texas in November. So we're just kind of touring all over the place.
So, Kitty, what's it like being an independent artist for you?
It's a journey. It's got its pros and its cons, just like being, an artist on a label. And what's cool about being an independent artist is that I have, all the say in the kind of music that I write and the music that I release, and what I want my fans to hear, versus maybe being on a label where they want it to be a particular way. And I can tour where I want. I can create my own merch. I can kind of have a more unique connection with my fans. So it definitely has a lot of positives.
And you mentioned touring. So, any chance of going to Europe or the UK in the near future?
Yeah, we are hoping we were hoping to do it this year, but I've got a baby on the way that's due in July, so that's kind of put a halt on some touring, but we are hoping to make our way across the pond next year in 2026. I've created a pretty great fan base over there that they're just absolutely amazing and so supportive. And there's a lot of fans that I stay in touch with from over there. So I'm hoping to be able to go meet them in person next year.
So, finally, can you tell me this? Where can they find you on your social media?
Yeah, so fans can find me at taylorhughesmusic.com. It has my full tour schedule, my merch shop, music, all kinds of stuff on there. You all can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Taylor Hughes Music. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, or X, whichever you all want to call it. And you guys can find all my socials on my website as well. And then you can find my music on all streaming and download platforms, just Taylor Hughes.
Thank you. Let me chat to you today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.